Thank you all for coming to celebrate Mrs. Marliese Reina. She's an amazing teacher, colleague, sister, friend, mentor, coach, niece, granddaughter, aunt, daughter, wife, world traveler, explorer, but mostly she was inspiration and sunshine to all of us. Like a beautiful butterfly, you felt graced when you were in her presence and elated when she smiled at you. She left us too soon. All of us wanted more time with her. As Mrs. Marliese Reina prepared to leave, she had some very specific requests. Since this celebration is a little different, I'm going to share with you some of our motivation and the wonderful people behind it as we get started. Mrs. Reina wanted bright colors. Her signature teals and hot pinks, none of that mournful black. She asked for a bench and a tree at Oak Avenue for the students. Thank you to Mr. Anthony Salazar and his team for helping to create this much needed sitting wall and beautiful camellias to honor Mrs. Reina. This space is where students often gather to enjoy the shade and camaraderie, but now it is more comfortable and less muddy. Mrs. Reina did not want a traditional paper program, so lovingly, her sister, Mrs. Amanda Kasiyama, has prepared beautiful wildflower seed packets with the help of other children and staff. We hope that you will take one, plant them in her honor, enjoy their beauty, and think of our beautiful Mrs. Marliese Reina. Thank you to Michelle Lee for creating her memory table and helping with the planning and organizing, and to Miss Wendy Monsalvo, who also helped with the beautiful table. If you've not yet signed the guest pages, please do so before you leave. Thank you to Miss Joe and to our Oak Avenue PTA for hosting the reception. Thank you to Miss Imelda Salazar, Kaylee Kunkel, and Mr. Will for the logistics and setting up this celebration for Miss Reina. Thank you to Mr. Jack Taylor and Mr. Kyle Smith and Miss Tammy Alderman and the awesome students of Oak Avenue Orchestra Band and Choir for your gift of music. Thank you to our gracious speakers, Mr. Brock Milhorn, Mrs. Deanne Sharada, Mr. Jordan Lessam, and Dr. Kuna. As we celebrate Mrs. Reina, I invite you to applaud, laugh, and smile, and later share stories with one another. Through our love for her and our cherished memories, she lives on. She's with us, and she's smiling. I'd like to ask speaker, Mr. Principal Jordan Lessam, to please come to the lectern.
Hi, I am Jordan Lessam, the current principal of Oak Avenue. Sorry, I needed to write down my thoughts or I would never get through this. So, I'm here to talk about Marliese Reina, the teacher. As I sat down over the last 2 days to get my thoughts organized, it became clear to me that it's impossible to talk about Marliese, the teacher, without talking about Marliese, the person. It was her tremendous heart, caring, and love for her students that truly set her apart as an educator. Her passion for science was matched only by her love for her students. She had a unique ability to transform abstract concepts into tangible and exciting experiences. Her lessons were not just about memorizing facts, but about nurturing curiosity and a lifelong love of learning. Beyond the classroom, Marliese dedicated herself tirelessly to Oak as the Science Olympiad coach from 2016 to 24, STEAM advisor in the years before COVID. And in these capacities, she shows students the vast possibilities within the realm of science and illustrated to many impressionable young students that women could excel in these once male-dominated fields. She was a true inspiration. Marlise's commitment to her students extended far beyond the school walls. She was the enthusiastic chaperone on countless spring break trips, ensuring that these experiences were not just educational, but also filled with fun and unforgettable memories. I would always see the pictures from these trips and see the joy in our students' faces, and I would know these are experiences that these students would never forget. Her peers recognized her exceptional contributions, honoring her as a School Teacher of the Year, an accolade that was a testament to her hard work, her innovative teaching methods, and her unwavering commitment to her students. But the true measure of her impact lies in the countless lives she touched, the young scientists she inspired, and the lifelong learners she helped shape. There's one memory for me that will always stick out. It was this winter's holiday music and band performance. We always have one staff skit during the show, and this year was a Mario Brothers video game skit. I was Donkey Kong, not King Kong like I wanted to be. Marliese was the beautiful princess that was being held hostage. Now, as we were waiting backstage and getting ready, getting our costumes on with a couple other teachers, Marliese was clearly in some discomfort, but she was still a ball of sunshine and energy. We were laughing and joking around. She was still the same positive and upbeat person I've known these last 3 years. I will always cherish these memories and this time we had with those few teachers backstage. And it was just another example of her resilience and her positive attitude and joy that she carried with her everywhere. Marliese was a caring mentor who always had time to listen to her students, to offer advice, to support her students in their academic and personal lives. It didn't matter if it was break or lunchtime, before school, prep period, her room was always buzzing with students, seeking her support and input. Her kindness, patience, and genuine care for each and every student created a nurturing environment where everyone felt valued and loved. I always appreciate and look up to people who lead and teach by example, and no one led with heart or taught out of love like Ms. Reina. I know that I'm a better educator, I'm a better person for having spent and known these last 3 years getting to know her. She is a shining example of what all educators should be. Thank you.
One of Miss Reina's favorite songs was Over the Rainbow. Here's a beautiful instrumental piece by the Oak Avenue Band, conducted by Kyle Smith with composer Frank Churchill. Thank you. It's my honor to present our next speaker, our amazing superintendent, Dr. Art Kuna.
Thank you, everyone. I haven't written a speech in I don't know how long because I usually just am able to speak to individuals, but it is far too hard today to do that. And Marliese deserves better than hearing me ramble because I've lost it up here. So when I was asked to talk a little bit about the impact that Marliese had on the district, this is the impact she's had on the district. You see a lot of students here, current, former, parents. I just had a conversation with a parent who shared with me the direction her son took because of the impact Marliese had on his life. And it's something that I don't think, as an educator, she knew the profound impact she had on the lives of students. And sometimes we talk about these things when it's too late. And I know that she is listening in on what we're talking about now, but she had a profound impact on this district. And so I'm going to just read a couple of things that I had written down. But when we talk about the impact, the obvious thing is to talk about the impact she's had on the lives of the students. And it wasn't just the students that she had for the year. Her impacts were far-reaching and at times had nothing to do with the curriculum. For some, she gave them a newfound love for science. For others, her instruction wasn't just about teaching individuals. She gave opportunities for students to help and give back to others. She taught students how to pay it forward. We talk a lot about the social-emotional well-being of our students. And the part that has to do with them being involved and engaged. She gave students to be the part of a group competing to achieve a common goal. Her students developed relationships that would carry them through high school and beyond. And when not in the classroom, she would give her time to take students on once-in-a-lifetime experiences, sometimes abroad, that would make lasting memories for those students. What she has done for her students not only benefited them, but it will benefit communities and quite possibly the world. She never took for granted the impact she had on the life of a child. She also had the same effect on staff. The love and passion she demonstrated for teaching was unparalleled. She was a model of what we all aspired to be when we chose this profession. Marliese treated teaching as the gift that it truly is. Knowing that it may not come as easy or naturally to others, she was a constant source of support and she was a mentor for colleagues. Knowing that we all have difficult days, she helped everyone to keep a positive attitude. She truly gave more of herself than could ever be expected or repaid. You see, never did I hear anything but admiration and adoration for Marliese. Never did I not notice a smile when her name was mentioned. And never did I hear a student not be excited for being in her classroom. I would say these are all profound impacts that Marliese had on our district. She had the power to alter lives and change directions, and she used that power for good. In reality, a true measure of one's impact is what you see when they're not with us anymore. How did things change? Do the lessons they taught remain? Marliese made each day brighter. She helped us to understand what is important in this life. We are better people for having had her in our lives, and this world was a better place with her in it. She will be missed, but never forgotten. And to her family, you did an amazing job. What an outstanding individual. Thank you.
The next song is from the Disney movie Brave. When Mr. Taylor chose this piece to perform at our annual Pops concert, he said, Mrs. Reina embodied the word brave. Here is Touch the Sky, performed by the Oak Avenue Orchestra with conductor Jack Taylor and also our choir. It was written by Alex Mandel and Mark Andrews. One more hand for our Oak Avenue kids. They're awesome. So proud of them. Mrs. Marliese Reina had a lot of joy and love that surrounded her, as is evident by the gathering today. One of the best parts of knowing her was getting to watch her live out her Hallmark movie, where she fell in love and married her prince. I'd like to welcome Mrs. Reina's husband, Prince Charming himself, to the lectern. Thank you, Mr. Brock Milhorn.
Thank you, Jessica. I was not expecting that. Thank you. Okay, guys, bear with me here, okay? First of all, I'd like to thank the administration in Oak Avenue for organizing and putting this all together today. It's truly, truly beautiful and magical, and I know Marliese is looking down with the utmost gratitude and the utmost joy. I feel like every time the wind blows, it's a little bit of her saying she's happy. I'd like to thank all the teachers, all the other staff, for your selfless contributions while Mrs. Reina battled, for stepping in to cover responsibilities and lesson plans at a moment's notice when her body just couldn't physically make it. Thank you to her sorority sisters for picking her up, for letting her know that the fight wasn't over and that there was, every time that she went to school, it was a safe place. And for us, the family, on behalf of the family, that means the world. She was able to come to her place of work. She called it Disneyland. She was able to come to her place of work and feel safe and feel hope. And we, the family, knew that she was in a safe place, that if something happened at a moment's notice, she'd be taken care of. So thank you for that. Thank you to the Oak family for giving our dear Marliese a sense of normalcy. Like I said, for the peace of mind. It allowed her to fully realize her purpose every day and brought her such immense joy. Oak was hope for her. Thank you to the parents and students for your love, your support, your kind words, and special gifts. I think we have enough chocolate in our house to get us through the apocalypse. So if you guys ever need to come, we got chocolate for days. But in all seriousness, I knew when I walked into Marlise's hospital room for the first time on our third date that she was beloved by so many. I remember looking around her room and seeing all manner of cards and paintings of frogs and get well wishes, but love surrounding this woman. I knew this woman was special, and I knew whatever she was facing, she had a community, a family of people who were lifting her up. You gave us hope for our future. You allowed us to realize dreams and see parts of this world that previously seemed unreachable. You allowed us the opportunity to make special memories. These memories, those beautiful moments in time, are the things that hold me and us together now. When the grief hits, the realization that time continues to march on without her, I grip those memories so tight in my heart, and it helps follow the tears with smiles and laughter. From the bottom of my heart, the parents and students, thank you for contributing to our memories. It's evident when you look around how much Marliese, Mrs. Reina, was loved. But my purpose here today is to express to you how much you all meant to her, what she wanted to leave you with. In her toughest battles, on the darkest days, she always was reminded of how special her calling was. From navigating COVID together, to traveling to Costa Rica with her students, I watched her with such awe live out her purpose with such ease and confidence you'd never know that she was sick. I was blessed to be the person that she'd come home to vent, to collaborate with. That's right, your students were not always perfect, okay? She vented a lot, but it was only because she cared. It was because she cared about their success. We celebrated your victories when you got into college, when you got the job, and we looked at different ways to approach for those students that were harder to reach. And again, it was only because she was so invested in your lives. She wanted peace of mind that you were taken care of, that you all knew how much that she wanted to be there. She never let her battle or a diagnosis limit or define her. She allowed her vulnerability to open up her heart to her students, and in doing so, created connections that will last far beyond the 8th grade. She relished being a mentor, a confidant, a teacher. We, the family, are so blessed to be part of this Oak family, and will continue to carry on Mrs. Reina's beautiful legacy along with you. So how do we do this? How do we carry on a legacy like that? It's a hard task. By trying to remind ourselves to be strong and courageous, be kind to one another, allow your ripples of kindness to break barriers and extend far beyond the here and now. Make memories, live in the present, always be learning. Don't sweat the small stuff, but cherish and celebrate the small victories. Give grace abundantly, and always let love be your guide. With 4th of July right around the corner, we have this little sign in our house. We have little sayings and stuff everywhere just to kind of remind us, but I thought this was appropriate with 4th of July around the corner. Advice from a firecracker. Leave a little sparkle everywhere you go. Shoot for the stars. Don't let your light fade. Be brilliant and have a blast. On behalf of the family, thank you so much for having this today. And as Mrs. Reina would always say, thank you so much for the memories. We love you, Oak.
It's a tradition here at every promotion for Oak Avenue Orchestra to play the bittersweet melody of A Shotgun Farewell, written by J. Unger. This beautiful song has become special to all that are a part of the Oak Royals family. month or so ago, Mrs. Reina wrote a letter to her students. Mrs. Deanne Sharada, one of Oak's amazing counselors, will deliver that sweet message in Miss Reina's own words.
Today was my last day at work. It was incredibly difficult to say goodbye to each of my students, especially with tears on their faces. I soaked up each one of their hugs and have lots to look forward to in the coming days at home. Reading through all the letters they wrote me, sniffing their beautiful flowers, and opening all their thoughtful gifts. Oak has been my sunshine and my saving grace. This home away from home has been what I look forward to on my toughest days. I have been blessed to work with the greatest Oak family, students, and parents. We call Oak Disneyland for a reason. I haven't had such loving, empathetic, determined students. I'm in awe of them daily, and I will miss not being able to hear all the beautiful and silly things that come out of their mouths. Oak has been my home for 11 years. When I was diagnosed, my doctor advised me to quit working, but I was determined not to let that happen, and that was 5 years ago. I am deeply grateful that I've been able to fulfill my passion all these years. It's played a vital role in keeping me going. I wish I could keep going now, but it's just gotten too hard. I love you all, and this isn't goodbye, it's see you soon.
As we enjoy our final music selection, When Summer Ends, with conductors Jack Taylor and Kyle Smith, written by Phil Cunningham, performed by our wonderful Oak students, I'd like to invite Mr. and Mrs. Reina, Mom and Dad, and Mr. Brock Milhorn, wonderful hubby, up to the wall to dedicate our sitting wall to Miss Reina. We have a butterfly release, and we will continue today. I'm hoping you will plant those wildflowers, smile and show that you care to the world, be kind to one another, explore the world, and be brave. Mrs. Marliese Reina wanted us to celebrate life, so let's honor her. There's a beautiful reception again provided by PTA in the back with cookies and wonderful lemonade. So please enjoy yourselves, celebrate her, share funny stories, and keep smiling. That's what she would have wanted.